Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Sorry, I'm a minute late. Of course, I really was trying to prepare for like 30 minutes before, getting the kids situated and all the things. And of course, things never go as planned. But, anyways, I'm looking forward to talking about this with you guys because I've been waiting for this trial for 2 years, since it started. And yeah, I think today we're going to talk about everything, but it's mostly going to be about the opening statements because there were 5 witnesses and there wasn't a whole lot of information as far as the witnesses go and what we learned from them. There was a little bit. There's a few things I definitely do want to touch on, but there's not a ton. Also was going to go on camera, but I didn't even get I'm still looking half crazy. So, hello, I'm not going to be on camera today. It's just not happening. But let me get this pulled up so I can, because there's part that I screen recorded some things, but I didn't screen record her video, her emotional video that she sent to Danny, and I want to watch that with you guys. So my plan was, and I got it here now. Okay, so let's see. First, I'm going to start with the photos. So how many of you guys watched? And if you didn't, that's okay, because my plan is that even if you couldn't catch it all, you could be here and hang out. I'm going to do this, try to do it every evening, except when we have football games, to catch up and kind of just go through what we learned and what, they talked about today. Hey, you guys. Good to see you all. I don't think I even said hello. Thank you for being a member. 32 months, Pointer Lover. Mr. Red Tie is kind of cocky, in my opinion. Yeah, I thought her attorney was a little bit rude. What did Deets call him? Mr. Sassy or something? Mr. Sassy Pants. Hey, girls, Nana. Thank you for being a member for 11 months. Hey, Aaron. Okay. So, hey, everybody. Very persnickety. So, when it first opened, okay, let me pull this up because this is what we saw when it started. We see Leilani, and she did appear to be somewhat emotional. This is really the only time I saw emotions from her throughout the day today. And honestly, I think that her emotions are for her. I think she's embarrassed, and it took a lot for her to have to face what she's done. We've seen other people like Adam Montgomery who are complete cowards, Chris Watts, and they don't even want to show up to face what they've done. And I can imagine that would be incredibly difficult to do. So that's why I think that she had a little bit of emotion in the beginning. Otherwise, I felt she was somewhat emotionless. I'm curious what you guys think. There was a comment. Sandy says, I'm confused at what the defense is saying. They seem to be saying she's not guilty. For me, I just feel like they're trying to get any little bit of reasonable doubt they can. Just like when they were talking to the final witness, Eugene Foster, they were asking him, how, because he was part of the case from the beginning. He was also involved in the search for Quentin's remains. And he would ask questions like, how many people were at the site where you were searching at the landfill? How many people were there? Just trying to make little points. I think trying to raise any bit of reasonable doubt. That's his job. And I understand that. But there were a few times he was quite rude. And I don't understand that. Emotionless for the rest of it. He's my Disney prince, not Superman. Yeah, the prosecutor. Yeah, that is ridiculous considering the evidence. I felt she got emotional during the video. That's true, Mayla's mom. She did. I don't remember like emotional. Well, we're getting ready to watch, so we'll see because I've got it pulled up. So they start and you see a picture of Quentin and she's kind of crying. And like I said, otherwise emotionless. And he goes on and this is just the beginning, but he goes to make the point, this all happened in the middle of the night, and she told one lie after the next, and eventually her son is found in a local landfill in pieces, and that is his words. It's just really tough to hear. And I know that you guys know Claus is there. She's in person. I haven't talked to her since she left today, but she did come in one of the chats earlier in Jen's, because Jen was streaming it. And, she said there was no emotion from Leilani. I can't help but think about Claus when we talk about these moments, because they're tough. It was tough to see. We saw part of his remains. I can't imagine being there in person and seeing that. So let me drop some links, though, because Jen streamed it this morning. Dietz streamed it this afternoon. And I know Melissa's going to do recaps, and Jonesin as well. I think she's definitely doing some sort of recap. I just don't know exactly. So let me make sure to drop those. So he goes, what we're going to be talking about is going to be between October the 4th and October the 5th. I think I have to flip this way, yeah. And yes, absolutely. And Amber's too, because my friend Amber has a great little channel where she not a little channel, but a great channel. Okay. So he says, we're going to be focusing on October the 4th to October the 5th. He brings up Henry Bubba Moss Jr., that's Quentin's dad. And he says, they have a tumultuous relationship, and they split before she even knew she was pregnant. I didn't know that. These are just some more screenshots I took. Let's see. And I appreciate the presentation that they were giving at the time. These are screenshots from that. So we see these are the people that live in the home. We have Billy Joe and her husband, Thomas. We also have Leilani and her brother, Paul. And then we have Daniel Youngkin, Sky, Leilani, and Danny's daughter, Zane, Leilani's first son, and then Quentin. And this is their home. So, I believe Billy Joe and her husband live on the first floor, all the way to the right in that window, all the way to the right. Paul lives right above that. Many people have questioned, how did Paul not hear anything? And they said, and I went back and listened to it right before this, Leilani actually said during her opening statement, during her interview, that you couldn't hear anything from that room up there. So that kind of answers that. Now, Paul's room upstairs, can't hear anything. Let's see, I'm going to flip through. Here is, part of the downstairs where they lived. We see a little baby bed. I don't know. Is that like a life jacket or something there in the floor? I'm not sure. Hold on one second. Okay, I apologize, you guys. So yeah, what is that? Now, look, and I heard Dietz mention this. You do see like big stains on the floors. I don't think that we can, make any assumptions about what that might be. I think that they just lived in filth because they were addicts, and we're going to talk about that some too. At first, Leilani claims she's on nothing. Then it was and she was getting Percocets for someone else. But then her lies just kept spinning and spinning, and you kept learning more along the way. But part of addiction is living. Hey, Deets. Hey, Emily. Hey, you guys that I didn't get to say hey to. Hold on just one second, you guys. I'm so sorry. I apologize. No, Riley, you did not lose sound. It was me muted because, of course, I had an unexpected visitor. Um, as soon as we get started, I just cannot. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, so let's see. Did that work? I was trying to give Dieter wrench back. But if any of the old wrenches come in and you don't have yours and you are being added back, you might not during this because I'm trying to pay attention to what we're talking about. But okay, so then we have, here's the next picture. They had a projector, not a TV. I guess that's just the affordable way to watch movies and stuff. I don't know. I have a projector. I actually have two, and I've never opened either because I had bought one and then Dad got me one for my birthday for like outside. However, if I was on a budget, it is an easy way to be able to watch stuff off your phone where everybody can see it. So whatever, no judgment. We see the little kid's chair in front of the TV. Look at the little camo chair, the little car bed, and then Quentin's playpen. Now, I don't think I got many pictures of that, no. But I know that if you go back to Jen's stream from this morning, Melissa showed a few other pictures, and we could always come back to this if we want, but the playpen was in the far corner of the room. A lot of people wondered, how did Danny leave for work and he didn't notice something was up, that Quentin wasn't there? And that's probably why. Grace says, I'm opening a bottle of red wine because I get too enraged with this piece of a mother. I know. Trust me, I know all about it. It is infuriating. It's a lot of emotions, not just infuriating, Somebody turned off my AC and I cannot. It's too hot in here. Okay. I probably turned it off. Somebody's probably me. Hey, Sprinkled Donut. Hey, MK. Hey, everybody. Because I didn't say hello individually at the beginning. I was like so amped to talk about this, but then frustrated at the same time. Okay, so then they go into a few texts, and I want to read these texts, and then we're going to watch this video that they showed, this video that I assume was made specifically just for Danny. That's my opinion. I'm curious what you guys think. But we see this message that Leilani sends to Danny. Now, we know there were hearings about keeping their relationship troubles out, about keeping a lot of this evidence out, to be honest with you. So it's interesting now getting to actually see some evidence. And remember, opening statements are not evidence. Now, sure, we might see little pieces of evidence like this. Nothing, it's not even opening statements, actually. Nothing the attorneys say is evidence. It's only the testimony on the stand and the physical evidence that's shown that's supposed to be considered. However, the attorneys try to kind of weave it together into this story that will make it easier to understand and easier for people to consume, to know what was going on. But their words are not technically evidence. Okay, so she says, I want to feel beautiful, not barely average. I want to feel loved and not just liked. I want to feel wanted, not just tolerated. I want to be able to look at you and know it's just me and not wonder how many others there are. I want to feel like my body is worth showing off, not like it's just been trashed from having 3 kids. I want to feel the way you made me feel in the beginning, like I'm treasured and safe, not like I'm just here because you really don't have a choice. Look, no relationship is the same. There's always that honeymoon phase at the beginning. And after you have kids, it changes. You have to adjust, and it's just part of life. I mean, you can make it really beautiful or make it harder for yourself, I suppose. But it definitely does change. It's not going to be the same as before. Now, she already had kids, but not with Danny. Then she says, go get yourself some ass. I know mine is good enough. Never was, never will be. Now, they point out these texts do take place in August. However, they don't think that her state of mind changed all that much from August until October. You're the reason I'm angry every day. You're the reason I'm depressed, why I feel the way I do about myself. Oh. And then we get to the video. So let's watch this again from August 2022. We're going to switch over to when this was presented in court today. Now, to me, I don't believe this is somebody who is, now, don't get me wrong, along with anyone who's in addiction, active addiction, or just going through the process of getting better even, there are some really emotional times. And even the most secure and normally like sound mind person can completely lose it when they're going through addiction, withdrawal, things like that. So you have to remember all this is tied into what's going on here and this like eventual explosion between everyone and what happened to Quentin as well. So here, I don't see someone who's really thinking about taking their own life, who's having ideations. That is my opinion. You know, you guys may feel differently, and that's okay. I see someone who is trying to get attention from Danny. Obviously, this was filmed and sent to Danny. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Let's watch it together, and then we will.
To Sky, Zane, and Quentin. Mama tried. Your mama's not here no more because she doesn't love you. I do.
Wait,
I can't love myself.
Do we have to go back just a little bit? Let me see. I'm sorry, because did it start with Zane? Okay, we're just going to watch from here for a moment on this.
And she starts out saying goodbye to her children. She has some kind words to say about Zane. She has some kind, loving words to say about Sky. You might perceive that she momentarily kind of seems to be at a loss for what exactly to say about Quentin, our victim, the middle child. And then she goes on to explain that the message is clearly addressed to Danny.
Now, just what he says there about her having like really nothing to say to Quentin, we know that some of the evidence that her attorneys wanted withheld from the trial was her friend saying that she thought of Quentin different than her other kids, and she held a grudge against him because of a grudge against his father. So keep that in mind as we watch this.
She goes on to attribute what she's about to do to the way that Danny has treated her. Now, this is a 4-minute some video. It's a little long for an opening statement, but we're going to watch the whole thing. And we're going to watch the whole thing because it's an important window.
I'm not going to interrupt as we watch this. And I want you guys to hear it in full in case you haven't got to see it yet. And if you have, you know, still hearing it in full, you might think of it differently than the first time.
Into her state of mind at this stage in time. This video was filmed in August of 2022. But the evidence in terms of the text messages and statements will show that nothing really changed between when this video was filmed and October 4th of 2022. So with that preview, I'll play this for you now.
Okay.
To Sky, Zane, and Quentin. Mama tried. Your mama's not here no more because she doesn't love you. I do. I can't love myself. If I can't love myself, how can I love y'all? I have tried over and over and over and I failed. I scream for help and I don't get it.
You learned how to treat a woman and how to love a woman. And Quentin, baby, you are a middle child. You're so happy all the time. You smile all the time. I wish I could see what kind of man you would be too. And Annie, I loved you. I loved you with all of me, all of my heart. I loved you. I wish that the crowd you mocked on. When we found each other, we were both in such fragile states. And I built you back up. I would do anything for you. But during this time that I was building you back up, you were doing things that would eventually tear me back down. And even now, after everything that I think has been brought to light, hopefully it was everything, right? Even now, you look at me with the same look in your eyes that you have when you talk about Caitlin. I don't hear the love in your voice anymore. I don't feel the love in your touch anymore. And I definitely don't see the love in your eyes anymore. If you truly loved me like you claimed you did, you wouldn't have done all that. Even when I was carrying your child and hating myself every fucking day, crying myself to sleep every fucking night because you did not want to have sex with me. You did not want to love me. You just did not want me. And I wanted you. I wanted you. I wanted you more than life itself. But you proved that it was only one way. That feeling was only one way. That love, that loyalty, it was all one way. You take care of my kids. Okay? You couldn't take care of me. You couldn't love me. You couldn't do me right. So please, for the love of fucking God, do my kids right. And I can't straight up at the river now. Bye, baby.
Oh my God, she makes me sick. It's literally acting, obviously. Come on. I mean, I can't even get my words out, but Riley said, is this a poem? It sounds, oh God, she just frustrates me. No tears, but her nose is red, but that could be from the Orajel. Well, like I said, when you're on drugs and stuff, you're going to be emotionally unstable. But I don't think she ever intended to actually take her own life. That is just my opinion, though. Okay, so next thing in my notes, let's go back to here. I get into October 4th, where she has a tooth pulled. But okay, first in my screenshots, though, I think, we're going to hear more about the babysitter. And we saw a lot of this in the drama surrounding everything happening, in the beginning. There was a lot of talk that the babysitter was like a second mom to him. There was a lot of negative talk about her. I don't know. I look forward to hearing the facts, like from an evidence perspective of kind of what was going on there. But the prosecutor did say today that this was like a second family, a second place for him to go and have love. Okay. Let me see. Now the tooth. So October 4th, she has, it looks, at first I had heard, I guess was it a wisdom tooth? But it looks and appears that it was an infected tooth. And then when we were talking about it on Jen's after, we kind of talked about some stuff on panel. It just confused me a little more. But regardless, she's swollen. It appears that it was infected. She had a tooth pulled on October the 4th. At 10 p.m. that night, she has another argument with Danny. Now, look, and the prosecution pointed this out too, but you have to think, this is how she gets over Danny. Now, we know when her son was missing, she was all smiles in the front yard waving, just happy to be there. Hey, everybody. You know, like it was going to be her big break or something. Honestly, that's how it appeared to me. That was over Quentin. This here on the screen is over Danny. So on October 4th, when she has another argument with Danny at 10 p.m., you can start to see how this could have happened, how she could have been in such an emotional state. I mean, where this could have happened. Now, at 10:29, let's see my next screenshot. So this is at 10:32. She tells Danny, I'm going to run to 204, I guess. The prosecutor says, this is where she goes to get drugs. There is a Cash App payment. This is GPS from her phone, but there is a Cash App payment of $80 to a Timothy Weston at 10:49 p.m. Now, let's see. Paul and Danny were asleep. Leilani was up all night getting high, line after line, is basically what he said. Now, Danny, we found out today there is going to be recorded calls with Danny and Leilani. Now, I've told you guys, there I go smacking my lips. I told you guys, back when we were still waiting for Letitia's trial, there was a large part of the internet that was blaming Al. And it was obvious at trial, he had nothing to do with it. My God, listening to those phone calls, that was absolutely heartbreaking. This man begging for his son to be found. But the phone calls and the timelines proved and left no room for Al to be blamed. And I'm thinking that's similar to what we're going to see here with Danny, because Danny was working with police, cooperating and recording phone calls with her. And I want to play this clip about what she says on the phone. They put in a clip of one of their calls. And that's what this recording is. According to my notes, I think so. I'm so looking forward to the calls. Me too, Jen. Hey, Remy. Hey, you guys coming in. Will Danny be a witness? So I haven't seen the witness list, but I definitely believe he's going to be a witness. Hey, Ava. I'm just here for Amy's lip smacking. Okay, let's hear this. I'm going to zoom in. Let me unmute it. I was recording while we're watching Jen, but there are just a few parts that I screen recorded because I didn't want to have trouble coming back to this moment. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, you guys hear Rainbow snoring next to me. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Listen, this is just what you get over here. Okay.
About the effect that cocaine has on her. It's not just fun for her. You'll hear her say that it makes her angry and impulsive.
I become angry and impulsive when I want it.
I will never touch cocaine again.
About the effect that cocaine has.
I become angry and impulsive when I'm on it. I cannot wait to hear the rest of this call because I'm really curious how this fell into their conversation. I can't wait to see the journals either, Jones. And so when we were on Jen's, Dietz, Melissa, Jen, and I were having the conversation about Leilani's potential drug use, how they ended up, being able to leave with a baby, knowing that there were drugs in all of their systems, but specifically Sky. And we found a video that I didn't even realize. I remember when we found out that Billy Joe turned over these journals. However, they said in this local news video that in the court hearing, it came out that Leilani was in treatment 3 weeks before Quentin went missing. And that is the hearing where the journals came up. So I'm curious, are these journals something from a treatment facility? There's so much I've forgotten, like the journals. I know, Remy. Let me actually just grab that clip because let's see. Oh, wait, I put it in the back of Jen's StreamYard. Let's see here. If I still have it. Okay. So let's continue while I try to find that. But so then we have the text between Danny and the babysitter. So at 5:20 a.m., Danny says, "Hey, the kids are going to stay here with her today, Miss Michelle." And she writes back, "Okay," at 5:29. Now, the prosecutor said this takes place because Danny tried to wake Leilani up for work. She was supposed to go to work this day. She wouldn't wake up. So because of that, he said, well, she can watch the kids then. If she's going to be here, then she can keep the kids. Let's see. Found it, you guys. It's only a minute long, so I want to send it over so we can watch this while we're already here. Or I could just play it like this.
Several of her charges. The accused murderer appeared in a Chatham County courtroom today. WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole is joining.
So this was actually on July 21st, 2023. But here.
Live from outside that courthouse. And Andy, walk us through what happened.
Yeah, Brooke, today's hearing covered the motion to squash the subpoena to get Leilani's journals. And they also heard arguments on the defense's motion to get rid of a few indictments, several charges on the indictment. Now, today, Leilani's lawyers began the motions hearing by calling Leilani's mother, Billy Joe Howell, to the witness stand. In her testimony, Howell admitted her daughter, Leilani Simon, had been in a drug recovery home for 3 weeks leading up to Quentin's murder back in October 2022. Howell said she turned over 7 journals to the court that she claimed
I had heard about the journals, but I had never heard that before. Let me just play that one more time.
Now today, Leilani's lawyers began the motions hearing by calling Leilani's mother, Billy Joe Howell, to the witness stand. In her testimony, Howell admitted her daughter, Leilani Simon, had been in a drug recovery home for 3 weeks leading up to Quentin's murder back in October 20th. The judge also heard Howell said she
leading up to Quentin's murder. So I don't believe that's a mistake. It could be. Don't get me wrong. We'll have to see. Hey, Lil Red. So prosecutors believe that around 1 a.m. she takes Quentin's life. And, I know that we're going to hear more about that later. I told you guys earlier, they did show a picture of some remains. And yeah, I guess they're going to have to do their best to try to piece together what happened, considering that they don't even have all of his remains. So at 1:17 a.m., Leilani drives this vehicle to the dumpster at Azalea Trailer Park. Here, let me pause this. She tells police she was in bed at 12 a.m. But now, and we're going to hear about this from a witness, the flock cameras, which is like a system that will pick up, it's a camera system. There's 300 of these cameras in Savannah alone, which blew my mind. They will pick up license plates. So it can tell you if somebody is in a certain area or had been out or whatever. The flock cameras picked her up. Okay. And when they ask her about it, she's like, oh, but wait, I did, I did get some Orajel. I had to get some Orajel. You know, at first she says, was it the Chevron she went to? I think it was a Chevron. I didn't write it down for the Orajel. And I put in here that I could play part of the body cam, but I think we'll skip that. We'll hear it at another time. But because one of these witnesses, it comes up again. Now, she's sitting there talking to, it was actually it was Eugene Foster. And he's the one that confronts her basically about this outside. And this is seen in, like I said, they play a clip during the opening statements. They also play a clip during his questioning. And she tries to hold up her phone and she's like, look, and she has Life 360 on her phone. Interesting. They had Life 360. I'm curious to know more about that. But yeah, so she holds up her phone and apparently the dumpster's 75 yards from Chevron. So on Life 360, it does appear that she went to Chevron. Oh, Deets. Deets on the street, Wolfie. Thank you, Deets. I appreciate that so much. Wait, who is that? Is that actually Wolfie or Deets? No. No, you guys are crazy. Oh my goodness. I'm already shaking up enough, okay? Trying to get it together. Thank you, Wolfie. I love you and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. My goodness. All right. Okay. Excuse me. So then during the opening statements, he gets into eventually Leilani, Paul, and Danny all have to be taken in for formal interviews. During this interview is when Misty comes up, okay? And here's the thing. Misty is not even Misty. Her name is Missy, okay? I don't know if Leilani did that intentionally to like steer them even more in the wrong direction. Her name is Melissa Missy Bray, not Misty. But let's watch just this. It's just a 10-second clip I grabbed of this part.
Right now, this is up for you right now. No, I did not. I did not take a Percocet right now. This is up for you right now. No, I did not. I did not take a Percocet right now. This is up for you right now.
I'm sorry, but that reason I clipped that because she's so dramatic. No, I did not take Percocet. I'll piss in a cup for you right now. And it's like later on she admits, yes, I took Percocet. Oh, and I was on cocaine too. Okay. So Misty, Melissa, this woman that she tries to blame or, tie into her story was a former coworker and she hadn't actually seen her since July. She's confronted about that in this interview. And what she does is she throws old Misty, Melissa, under the bus and says, well, when I got the Orajel, Misty was smoking crack. So like, what? So she probably wouldn't remember. That is literally what she said to the officers. Because they're like, she hasn't talked to you since July. Oh, no. She just doesn't remember talking to me because she was like smoking crack at the time. So at 1 a.m., you go to a friend's house to get Orajel. That's going to evolve a little more in a second. So October the 12th. This is when her story changes once again in an interview with one FBI agent, one officer from Chatham County. I've been saying that wrong the whole time, but I realized today, like it clicked. So I'm going to try to say it correctly. Probably still got it wrong, but so on October the 12th, she finally admits, I didn't speak to her, but I did drive by her house and try to speak to her. And I ended up getting the Orajel out of my car. I found some in my car that I had lost before. It was an old one. Like, what? I just cannot believe. It reminds me of Megan Boswell. I can't wait to see her trial. I don't know how these women believe that these like stories that are spinning out of control like this are going to be believable, like at all. Chatham. Thank you, Deeds. Yeah, isn't that convenient? But literally, her whole story this whole time was, I was in bed by 12. Well, we saw your cameras out, at 1 a.m. Well, I did go get Oragel from my friend Misty. And then it's Misty hasn't talked to you for months. Well, no. She hasn't talked to me. However, I tried to talk to her. But when I was there, at first it was, wait, well, she wouldn't remember because I was smoking crack. Then it went on to be, well, I never talked to her, but I did try. And I ended up finding Oragel in the car. So it didn't matter anyways. Found some Oragel, went home. In my notes, I wrote, WTF, Leilani. Like, I just can't believe it. Reminds me of Letitia and Megan Boswell. Why? I don't know how you could ever think that this is going to work for you, spinning several different stories. This is very serious, okay? This is about your baby. Now, this part made me absolutely sick. She says, they say, well, we saw you by the dumpster. And Leilani tells investigators, well, I did throw some trash away because, it was just convenient. It was Danny had left some old food in there, some stinky shrimp pasta. So I had the opportunity and threw it away. Saw the opportunity. Okay. We see you, Leilani. We see you. Because that is damn disgusting. Sprinkled Donut, thank you for being a member. That right there just pissed me off. And from Claus, who's one of the people in the courtroom, that was something I saw that she put in Jen's chat. Like, the fact that she refers to what she threw away as this stinky trash. Crack does not impair memory. Now, we're going to get to that because... actually right now in my notes. So then, in this interview she admits, I'm pretty sure it's the same one from 10/12. She admits to taking Percocet. And when she does, she's confronted about all of her stories and her lies. And she explains that I had so much cocaine, I couldn't remember. It's like, wait, I thought you didn't do any drugs. I thought you could take a drug test tomorrow. Hold on, wait, what was that you said? Let me just go back to that for a second. What was that, Leilani?
No, I did not take a Percocet right now. This is not for you right now.
Can you imagine having to deal with her in your daily life? Like, people like this irk the hell out of me. I want nothing to do with someone who lies and twists and manipulates, and they're always spinning shit like this. I can't stand it. And she's good at it. Look at her. She's so emotional. She's got the body language, the intensity. It's, I'll take a piss. I'll piss in a cup for you right now. Then it spins out to she was freaking doing all kinds of damn drugs. Line after line, smoking blunts, Percocets, Coke. Okay. Now, Jen asked, does crack impair memory? I have never in my life, and you guys know I'm in recovery, unfortunately, and this is not something to be proud of. I've spent a long part of my life, over a decade, slumming it, okay? Doing some of the worst drugs there are, including crack, Coke, heroin, and I had, even meth, everything. Xanaxes, pain pills, everything. I had moments for all of those things, even a few months where I was very heavily drinking. I've never seen anyone whose memory was impaired from simply doing cocaine. However, cocaine doesn't last very long. Dietz was kind of asking questions about these drugs and if you mix them and stuff like that. Here's the thing. There's weed that brings you up. There's weed that brings you down. Most people do mix uppers with downers or marijuana because when you come down off that high, it's very uncomfortable. It's like you just want to jump out of your skin. And sometimes the downers can help that feeling a little bit. People do it back to back. I've seen that so many times. Some people strive to reach that where they can go up and down. Would it affect your memory? To me, I think that cocaine is a lot shorter. It doesn't last as long as like meth. Meth is an upper that may last 12 hours. Cocaine, after an hour or so, you really start coming down. It doesn't last very long. So that's probably how she was able to go to sleep that night. She was taking Percocet. She was smoking weed. It wouldn't be that far-fetched to think she just laid down and crashed out. And she apparently did and she couldn't wake up. Don't be sorry. I haven't even been able to watch chat because when I start talking, I'm like, I don't know, not watching. Wait, is that Wolfie? Oh my God, you're confusing me. Thank you for all the knowledge, though. Yeah, I mean, everybody's different, right? So I think some people with ADHD might do uppers and it will bring them down. I don't know. So I'm not going to be the end all be all of this kind of stuff, but I can give you I did learn a lot about it, unfortunately, in my times slumming it. So speedballing, yeah. A lot of people want to do that. Hey, crazy mama. Let me see here. Okay. So now I need to, there's a couple people still, I just, that haven't been rinsed yet because they haven't come in, but I still need some on the second channel. And I was trying to, people that have been around the longest keep here. And then I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm doing my best. So just understand that. Okay. So then the defense did their opening statement and it was very short. It basically said, what they have is rumors and gossip. You don't listen to this prosecutor. You need to follow the evidence. You make the decision what this evidence means, which is true. I expected them to go further with potentially what happened because oftentimes when someone pleads guilty, they'll give this, or not guilty, I'm sorry, they'll give an alternate theory. We didn't see any of that. Nay, I haven't seen Nay, Foxy. I'll put Foxy on the backup, I think, but okay. Bye, Deets out. If I take pain pills, I'm a house cleaning fool. Yeah, I was a pretty bad addict. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're doing better, honey. That's awesome. This is your future that you're building. She is, Tess. Well, it's hard because I have a lot that I want, that I want to keep around too. So, okay. Now we're going to get into the witnesses. The first witness was Bobby Stewart. Now I'll just read you my notes. I didn't go super in depth. They were very quick, shockingly. And then we'll watch the body cam that they played because that does have to do with the last witness anyway. So first we have Sergeant Bobby Stewart. He was a responding officer. The main thing I wrote was he does go into, most of the time when a child goes missing, the mom is very frantic. She's not making a lot of sense. She's very upset. They ask, did she act like your average mom of a missing child? And he said no. And he said, quote, looks like she was trying to cry, unquote. The defense was quite rude. This is what I put in my notes. Defense, arrow, rude, arrow, first impression, parentheses, Mr. Sassy Pants / Deets. I guess that's to reference your name for him, Mr. Sassy Pants. Then we have Cody Jepson. He was another responding patrol officer. Then we have Detective Sean Wilkins. He was the first detective on the scene, and he was the one who did a search warrant for Quentin's dad's phone records. That was really my only big note for him. Then we have Kiana Robbins. She was a detective, and she talks about this more about the license plate reader, the flock cameras, and that's where we hear there's 300 in Chatham County. So not Savannah, Chatham County. And then we get into Eugene Foster. Now he's the one who has the confrontation with her about the Oragel. And then I wrote, her attorney is so rude. Not only does he have the confrontation with her about that, he also took part in the landfill search. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to pull up that part so we can watch the body cam together. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, her acting, she was very upset. It would be a real pain to have to deal with her in real life. That's one of the only things that I keep like thinking. I could not imagine. Okay, it's at 6 hours and 51 about. So let's go to 5:42. Okay. Yeah, she'd definitely be a drama queen and a total pain in the ass. Just very selfish and yeah, hard to deal with, in my opinion. Look at her. She does look a lot different. She seems to be a lot healthier. You know, I do know that she's been working on her education and that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, it's coming up. They must just be getting it. And then that's really where it ended. You know, tomorrow they're going to start with a witness who is going to be a lot longer of longer amount of testimony. Little red.
Can you tell us what, now that we've got this up, can you tell us to the minute what time this exchange was at?
12:12 in the afternoon on the 5th of October.
Thank you.
Big crumbs.
10 patients for sale. Did y'all go anywhere last night or yesterday with Big? Maybe a fall or something like that? Y'all didn't go anywhere? No, maybe you yourself.
Did you go anywhere? Not anywhere with my kids? No. Now she's holding the baby. Let's rewind this again, though, because I just listen closely. I'm going to mute.
10 patients for sale. Did y'all go anywhere last night or yesterday with Big? Maybe a fall or something like that? Y'all didn't go anywhere? No, maybe you yourself. Yeah, I know. I could have got my tooth pulled yesterday, so about 2 maybe. I went to get some Oreo, and that was it. 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon? No, like morning, because I couldn't go to sleep. Okay, so where'd you go? Right up the road, right here, that Chevron. I met my friend that I used to work with, and she had Oreo because they didn't have any extra okay when I called. Okay. Did you go anywhere else that we maybe have been home? So when did you get home? I can tell you exactly the time. We have was it even 2? I was on 125. 125? So I was gone for literally 12 minutes. And you went where? Right up the road to next to that Chevron. Oh, the 40 over here on right here on the right up the road. Because I used to work at Little Dangles, so I had a girl named Misty that. I got a bar over for the canine. Okay, give me just a second. Yeah. I had a girl named Misty that I used to work with that dental problems as well, so I got in contact with her and asked her if she had Oreo because my call several kids, so they didn't have any. Okay, did you notice anybody following you or anything? I don't know. Did you go back out at all anytime at the time? When I did get back, there was a car, which is why that lady mentioned it, whatever. I was thinking that maybe the car was for people across the street, but it was another little gray car sitting out front of the house. Okay. So.
July.
So you said you got home about 1:30? Yes, it's 1:25 a.m. is the exact time that I'm back on my phone for almost 12 minutes. Okay, all right. Nobody called me, right? Yeah. They're just gonna ask you about
1:25 a.m. was the exact time, so I was gone for 12 minutes. So it took you 12 minutes to get rid of Quentin, and that is just so, it just pisses me off so much. I don't understand. I really don't. I know, like, whatever, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Was he asleep? 1 a.m.? Like, I just don't get it. And if he was, what triggered this? And was it just your hate for him? Were you trying to be a victim for Danny? I don't know. I don't understand. But I know you guys feel this way too. And it's really hard to kind of like keep your emotions in check, because a lot of us are moms. And even if we're not, like, you know, babies and animals, like, I don't know, it takes a really messed up person to hurt a child or an animal, but specifically a child, specifically your own child. And then not only do you hurt him, but you throw him away like trash. And then you refer to throwing away old stinky food. And I don't know. I'm just disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted. I do want to see, they did show her car near the dumpster. They did not show everything. They did say they're going to get into it with some of the witnesses, different camera angles and stuff like that at the trailer park. So, and B Crumbs, the calls did not finish. Let me check now. I was just going to delete them and start back over like after like 9:30, after no one's on the internet, when the kids are asleep for sure. And do it again, because I don't know. I'm gonna double check right now while we're sitting here, but I can't make sense of this. If it was an accident, you would never ever, I mean, I don't care if you have love for your child. How do you, even if there is an accident, I've told you before, like, every child, every hair on my baby's heads are precious, okay? And every tooth they lose, everything. I cannot imagine ever being in, like, doing that. I just don't know. It truly makes no sense to me. It's going to be a tough one to watch and kind of see exactly what happened there. And we'll never get the answers fully. So we have to kind of prepare for that. At the end of the day, will we ever get the honest truth from Leilani of what brought this on? Hell no. Hell no. We know, I think prosecutors probably will get as close as it gets, which is look at the emotional breakdown she has when her relationship with Danny is being threatened. And what will she do to keep that? And we've seen women do some really sick stuff for kids. There's that one woman who, oh my God, what's her name? Diana. Oh my gosh. Me and Bindi have talked about her several times. She acted like she was carjacked or whatever, and they come up to the car and shot her kids, and she had a boyfriend who didn't want kids. I mean, women do some really sick shit for men. I don't understand it, but all I know is I'll be here every step of the way to find out what exactly happened and to watch her pay for what she's done. And I don't think any punishment will ever be good enough. That's just where I'm at. Diane Downs, yes. Thank you, guys. There is not a circumstance that could exist to make me throw my child into a dumpster. I completely agree, Patricia. Nothing in this world. It makes no sense. You were so good to my kids, Danny, but you weren't good to me. So just be good to my kids now, okay? Like, you give a damn. I'm sorry. I'm angry. So, and I'm sure, I know she has supporters and family who love her, and I'm so sorry. This probably won't be the channel for you to get updates about anything. You probably have your other ways to do that. And I can imagine this channel could be triggering if you do, but I'm just going to keep it real with you guys on how I feel about it. It is what it is. So I really hope this is what I look forward to. I want to hear the calls with her and Danny. I want to see the text messages between her and any friends, especially regarding Quentin and how she felt about Quentin because of his dad or not. I want to see them close the gap that is creating conspiracies. These other people were at the home, this and that. Danny's the one who texted the babysitter. Okay, well, if he was involved, then during those pretext or during their recorded phone calls, that should be noticeable, in my opinion, if he was. So that's where I'm going to leave it at. We're going to talk about it every day when court ends, not for a long time, probably for an hour and a half or so. And thank you for being here and listening to me go through it all. Danny wasn't involved, in my opinion, either, Becky. I agree. I'm already triggered seeing channels that promote alternative theories. It's incredible. Well, I know that everyone is welcome to their opinion, and people are going to have their opinions. But it is really hard when these are the circumstances. So I don't know. All I know is I'm going to go watch some stuff that's not about this until tomorrow, because I'm just going to let you guys know this, if you've never followed a trial before, or if you have, you will not be able to get it out of your mind, especially when the details start to come out. So it's always good to have some stuff that's more, for me, I'm going to probably watch some political stuff. I'm interested in that. I like to watch both sides. I think they're all a mess, but I'm just interested in it, and some makeup stuff, and just get my mind off of it. I know Jen's going to stream tomorrow. I know that Dietz is hopefully going to stream some more. Jen's not doing the whole trial because she's trying to do back and forth with Sarah Boone. So you should stream it when she doesn't, Dietz, if you're up to it and you're around. No, Melissa will recap. I'm just going to drop a bunch of channels. Check them all out. They'll all be doing something or another. Oh, God, what did she do now? Lord have mercy. All right, you guys. I'd want someone to be good to my kids rather than me. Exactly. How is that not the way to any woman's heart, right? Like, you'd be good to my kids. Hell, I don't even care about me. I don't know. Of course, I don't want to be mistreated. I'm just saying. When you have kids, that's what it's all about. All right, you guys. Breaking Chains is streaming it. Is she streaming it on her court channel? Or because I had the link today and I didn't even pay attention, and I thought about that. Awesome, Deeds. Okay. So share Bindi Deeds. I'm going to share a bunch of channels. I do have Lynn's in here. I don't know though if I have that one. Boone, I don't know. I know they had jury selection today, and Richard Allen. Breaking Chains. Okay. Well, I don't have that in the Nightbot, but we'll get it in there for tomorrow. And then, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I hope to see you again tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to it, but also anxiously awaiting it. So thank you guys for everything. I'm going to just have to hit in because I'll sit here and go on and on. So anyways, I'm just going to hit end. I love you guys. Thank you for everything. I'll talk to you later. Bye.